Hi, I'm back again. I'm gonna doing another unscheduled video. I guess this might be called Never Trust a Smiling Cat Part 4, losing count here. But I'm going to share my latest clinical screw up, and seems no end to it. But of course, I only have myself to blame for it, right? And before I share that little story with you, just a couple points of interest. I otherwise wanted to just mention. No, I did put up I decided to put the Life Beyond Zyprexa Part 2 up. Um, you know, there probably won't be another one because, again, the whole sleep situation has just shot to hell. Um, you know, again, squeaking by, 4 hours, 5 if I'm lucky, and again, it's just the cumulative effect over the past 5 years or so. It's it's no good. So I just thought I would share that, that updated 2017 version of my little adventures around, uh, around the area, and just just slight disclaimer. Some of the pictures, were not mine. Okay, I mean some I grabbed online and but just some you know nice photos of the area to share. Okay, and I also was going to say, just to update you, one other interesting note about the whole Ms. Malpractice thing. Over a couple of months ago, during the summer, my current, psychiatrist, I began to elaborate a bit more about what happened with her, with him, and I gave him a few examples, and I told him about the icing on the cake comment about, remember back in 2013 when I told her, "Don't you realize I could have died?" And I was told it's beneficial, right? I told him about this and a few other things, like I said, and I'll give him credit, for this. He confirmed for me that I got screwed by the system and by her. You know, so that's why I say, I mean, I'll give him credit where it's due. And to be honest, and when I told him about this, and I mean, he was essentially disgusted to learn that this was the environment, and that was her philosophy of doing things. Again, on the prescribing end, and the whole lack of ethics. And we're going to be touching upon ethics in just a moment in the Never Trust a Smiling Cat Part 4. All right. So I just thought that was another interesting point just to share. So anyway, let me think here. So I am, as I said, I got into a bit of a situation with this current mental health services provider. Not the person specifically who I just mentioned, but the well, it came. How can I say this? It came down to the supervisor or the director of this local agency office, making a decision, and which again was another confirmation that it's about getting screwed by this friggin' establishment, and as somebody out there in another part of the world told me not too long ago, that these people are not my friends, and I was very hesitant and reluctant to listen to that and believe that, but he was true. He was spot on. And by the way, there's a possibility I may be attaching. Not sure if I'm going to do it or not. Get around to doing it, but I may in the down below in the description link or whatever, I may enclose a link to another video that I came across online, which I don't know, it's just it's just kind of funny and uncanny at the same time. And if it's there, you'll know what I mean by that, and that's all I'm going to say. But anyway, so why I'm calling this Never Trust a Smiling Cat, and I mentioned the word ethics. Okay, now one thing I had to say right up front. Okay, now I set the wheels in motion for this latest problem. Okay, but the outcome of it I was not expecting. Okay, and this is why I am going public with this, and I just need to share my story, because it's like again, there's no end to it. This of this establishment prevailing, and the patient always gets screwed because they're always at fault and always to blame. And of course, you have to keep in mind that, as far as I am concerned, is the premise in which this so-called field of medicine is based upon. Okay, and we've had this discussion before. Clinicians, no, never at fault, never at fault. They're the ones who call the shots. They make the rules and all this happy clinical crap. Okay, and sure enough, I got fucked again. But like I said, I set the wheels in motion for this thing to happen. Okay, I'll try to be brief. Won't be easy. So anyway, it's been 3 years, 2014, since I signed on with this with this mental health services provider, who I will tell you, by the way, is a non-profit organization contracted through the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And some of you know how I feel about the Commonwealth. And so what happened? What happened was, I have a bit of a history of being a bit of a nosy bastard, and when you combine that with what happened with Psycho Cunt after 18 years, can you really blame me for wanting to find out anything I damn well choose to about anybody who enters my life, especially in a clinical capacity in that field of medicine? Can you blame me, right? And I will tell you, just over a year ago, about 15 months ago, I'm going to mention two people, and I informed these two people last year about that friggin' 5-letter word known as trust. Yeah. With Psycho Cunt, and how the hell was I supposed to trust another living soul in my life? Not just clinicians, neighbors, bureaucrats, people online, same old bullshit, right? So I informed them of this, okay? And I also, in the clinician I have worked with, off and on, for 3 years, and I informed him multiple times I would not get fucked over by another clinician. And every time I said this, okay, in one ear, out the other, I would not be taken seriously, okay? Now, for quite a long time, I had accumulated information about him. I was never going to use this or against him anyway. But again, what did I just say? Okay, anybody who's going to play a role in my life, I make it my business to know a bit more about this person. Okay. So so just about a month ago in August, so I wound up. Some of this information. And first, I got to say, now the information I acquired was all through freely accessible, publicly accessible information via the beloved internet, right? I mean, I did not break any laws by acquiring this information. I mean, it's there. Whoever has all access online. All right. Now, so what happens is things just kind of got to the point, because some of this stuff was kind of bothering me. Because, and I'm not going to get into the details of the information, but it was just kind of bothering me somewhat of a conflict of interest as far as that friggin' word trust. Because as we've said, clinicians extracting information out of the patient, but keeping their mouth shut. And so what happens if the reverse scenario occurs? Oh, that's a major problem. Ooh, as I discovered firsthand. So, anyway, like I said, this is about a month ago, back in August, and I know one thing just kind of led to another, and I just, I guess I kind of needed to get this off my chest with him, and I was expecting, a very bad reaction, and he'd probably storm out the door, because he can be a bit of a clinical pain in the ass. He will, like, not physically, but metaphorically, he'll try to, like, corner you to the wall, and extract and squeeze information out of you. That's his job. Give him any kind of problem, he'll threaten to either section you, press charges, and that, as far as I'm concerned, that is not the definition of a friend. That's somebody who has their own goddamn agenda, and it's again a big clinical power play. That's exactly what's going on, and it gets worse, as you're about to see, as far as these clinical power plays are concerned. All right, and so I discussed this. Things went over very well. He maybe he was a little caught off guard, but like I said, I was expecting a bad reaction. Didn't happen. And after all was said, and it seemed everything was okay. However, he did tell me. He said, "Oh well, I got to keep my mouth shut about this, because if he tells his boss, or that would be a problem if the boss knew that I had acquired information about him." So, next visit, which occurred a week later, I knew something was wrong up front, because he's like, "Oh well, can I come in?" And say something's not right. And then, like, the first thing he says, he's like, "Well, I'm not going to be coming here anymore." Oh, all right. So, and then he, after maybe a day or two later, started, from the week before, he started to think about this more, and I guess maybe it started to bother him. And sure enough, he brought this to the attention of his boss. Apparently, and you'll understand why I'm saying apparently, this probably, went off like the proverbial fart in church, and I'm sure she threw a major fucking fit. And the end result was that this clinician, who I will tell you, was largely played a large, significant role in helping me get back out in the world over these past 3 years. And it was his supervisor's decision to assign him to me 3 years ago, because she knew he'd have the best potential of helping me get back out, and that was correct. But so she made the decision to remove him from, and no longer working with me. That was a nice little bureaucratic clinical fuck you. And to make matters worse, the fucking douchebag, with very large tits, I might add, did not even have the professional courtesy of speaking to me about this situation, either before or after she made this decision. Now, sure, I have her email, I have her phone number, but is that really my responsibility to discuss this matter with her? Again, this was a nice clinical way of telling me to go fuck off. I feel like this was, I did nothing illegal, and I will tell you, I went over her head and contacted the a member of senior management of this organization, in close to Boston, and my initial reaction to this, back last month was to, pursue this in the file of either a complaint or an appeal of this decision. But then as time went on, I said, well, wait a minute, why even bother? Because look what happened with Psycho Cunt, a few years ago, right? And it was like, what's the point? But nevertheless, I still communicated. I had a call, like I said. I spoke with somebody, in senior management of this organization, and explained the situation. I did ask her, this person I spoke with. I said, well, I want to know, like, by acquiring this information about my clinician, did I violate like any internal privacy policy? Okay, as far as between the one of their employees, clinical employees, and the patient that they see, did I violate it? And she's like, no. No, but then she threw out the word. Well, it all comes down to ethics, and it's like, well, ethically, and she feels that this was the decision. He was removed from working with me, okay, because I breached ethics, and sure, like I said, I set the wheels in motion. Was it unethical? Well, yeah, but hey, I mean, but again, like I said, when it comes to this so-called fucking field of medicine, ethics do not exist. They do not apply. So I felt like I was clinically punished, trying not to sound like a pathetic victim, if you believe that one. And and like I said, I mean, and you're gonna like this. Like I said, it was just about a month ago when this decision was made, and he came in with the news he would not be coming here. Now, even because I noticed when he arrived, he was outside on the phone, and as he came in, he explained that he was speaking with her, and said to her, he's like, look, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be. And he said, as he explained to me, he said to her, doing this will easily have the potential of setting me back, regressing, and her response was, you got to do it, because again, this is a bit of clinical bureaucratic bullshit all coming together, okay? Because remember, if there's any kind of resistance or any kind of troublemaker, okay, which apparently, I'm gonna have to get a shirt with that printed on it, right? They have a problem with that. This friggin' establishment has a problem with that. Okay? So, I mean, but again, just to think that, the potential is there of throwing 3 years of progress down the toilet, and this friggin' cunt of a douchebag supervisor doesn't care, okay? Because she has her own fucking protocol to follow, okay? Just because I'm a nosy bastard, and I got raped by a prescriber, and she has a fucking problem with me, doing little background checks on people who come through my door. Yeah, fuck you, cunt. And this is the second time in 5 years I've been screwed by a fucking clinical cunt. Notice a trend here? Again, pardon-moi français, s'il vous plaît. So as you can see, this has only contributed to my insomnia. Oh, big surprise there, right? So, it just blows my mind. But again, you know what? I mean, maybe in some way, again, maybe this bitch was doing me a favor, because I mean, if this is the way they're going to do business, they don't care about throwing your progress right out down the toilet. Again, on a supervisory level of making this decision, she doesn't care. And not having the courtesy to even discuss the matter with me herself. I mean, come on. Okay, we have communicated in the past about different things, but this time, whoosh, kept her mouth shut. Maybe she, again, expecting me to contact her. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. So again, these people are not your friends, okay? And and then it kind of blew my mind. The following day after this decision, they were having this outdoor gathering, and which I had been invited to go. And prior to this, I was hoping to go. Seriously, it would have been a real great accomplishment for me. And then, and after this decision was made, and he said, "Well, you're still invited to come tomorrow. It'd be still another opportunity for you to grow." And I'm thinking to myself, "You have got to be fucking shitting me." Not to mention, I mean, I slept about 2 hours that night. And it's again that shot of adrenaline right into the brain when any kind of major event or news comes my way. That's how I react. So again, so I mean, I just wanted to share the story because I mean, these clinicians, generally speaking, they're a bunch of fucking assholes. I mean, really, I just, and again, stupid me for thinking that they were my friends, because they're not. And again, this is why I'm just giving a thumbs up to the person out there who, and he knows who he is, and for trying to enlighten me about about these jerk offs. It's an absolute joke. Okay, so from now on, I'm essentially keeping my friggin' mouth shut as far as my personal life, because hey, if their personal lives is none of my GD business, okay, then why should my personal life be any of theirs? Just trying to keep things on an even keel here. You see, and that's why I acquire information about these clinicians. Okay? So, because they think they can just, do whatever they want and plow right over you and call the shots, and you give them a problem, they're going to let you know. And if you don't get, I like to use the term, again, clinically disciplined. I mean, because that's what this was, I mean, the supervisor, obviously didn't want me, giving me any more problems. And, I don't know what to say, but I have to go back to bed, So, so anyway, that like I said, that's why, on a related note, that's why I just wanted to share the other, part 2 of the Life Beyond Sight Practice, because, I mean, this decision for me was kind of the proverbial nail in the coffin. It really was, I mean, and I'm going to tell you something. I shouldn't say this. With any luck, I'll be dead before the end of the year. All right, I mean it, because I'm just so fucking goddamn tired. Okay, and I don't know what else to say, and I'm just rotting away in bed, and I just can't go on anymore. I can't go on anymore, and my mind, it just continues to burn up. And so again, I'm just saying this because don't be swayed in, don't be taken under their wing thinking that they're looking out for you, because I mean, for the most part, they're not. But I will tell you, okay, especially in recent months leading up to August, I mean, I was making some progress. I mean, some new accomplishments. As far as my venturing out and going to new places, okay. There were some things on a personal note I was starting to discuss with my clinician. Some of it was helpful, but then again, see, you kind of have to second guess it, because I mean, just as far as their clinical motives, because again, that's why I used the phrase, I think in part 2 of Never Trust a Smiling Cat, the clinical vacuum cleaner. That's all these people do. They're just sucking in and extracting information out of your personal life. And like I said, when the tables had turned, oh, holy shit. We have a problem with that. So like I said, of course, it was my fault for doing this in the first place. My fault for opening my friggin' mouth. But like I said, this had been bothering me for a hell of a long time, and I guess I had to get it out of my system. And as a result, I got screwed. So maybe the only saving or blessing in disguise is this is excuse me, this is yet a further incentive, to get as far away as possible, and out of this friggin' system. You know what I mean? And again, that's the whole purpose of enlightenment into all this bullshit on the clinical end and on the psychopharmacology end. Okay, is again to regain control instead of other people dicking you around all the time. Okay, so that's going to be about it. I'll try to shut my mouth now. Okay, and like I said earlier, possibility I may attach a link to another video below in the description line. So not sure if it will happen or not, but so I'm just going to leave a slight teaser there, and I think that's going to do it. So bye for now. Hope to see you soon, and if I drop dead, hey, it's been nice knowing you, right? Just like, and of course that phrase, oh, well, of course I get sorry, you might remember in the animated story, okay, from 2 years ago, when Psycho Cunt, July 2013 was leaving, and I mimicked and referenced this in that animated video, and she heads out the door. She says, oh, well, it was nice knowing you. And I felt like saying, get the fuck out of my sight, you goddamn cunt. It's a miracle I never beat the goddamn living shit out of that fucking bitch, And maybe one day I will, And if it lands me in prison, I don't give a fuck. Because these goddamn clinicians don't give a fuck either. So why the hell should I? Yeah, slightly bullshit here, Maybe I should out these bastards and put their names and phone numbers and addresses on the goddamn screen, and then they can receive harassing phone calls and suspicious packages in the mails, from all of my psychotic online friends, right? I'll tell you, these goddamn bastards can go burn in hell. I'll tell you. All right, so as usual, I'm saying more than I should, and I'm probably going to get myself arrested, right? So, all right. Have a good day, and remember to smile. Bye for now.